Hello, my topic today is gun rights and common misconceptions in society about guns. Um, my main goal here is to educate people on guns and gun ownership and try and maybe change some minds. That's not my main goal. My main goal is to educate. Firstly, we're going to break down the Second Amendment. I'm going to read it to you first, and then we're going to break it down after. It reads, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed." Now, that you notice, I did stop a couple of times because there are commas in this phrase. When the framers of the Constitution were writing the Constitution, they wanted to make it very specific, very easy to understand, but that value has kind of gone away. So when there's a comma, I'm going to say comma, and we all know a comma is to, in reading out loud, is a pause, or reading ahead is a pause, but it is also used to make a list. So we're going to read this again, and every time there's a comma, I'm going to mention the comma. "A well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, shall not be infringed." The first statement, a well-regulated militia, gives us the right to have a militia. We can weaponize ourselves and just have a militia. Now, the next statement, being necessary to the security of a free state, was more directed towards them, the framers of the Constitution, and their time back then. But that statement supports the militia statement, the first statement. But now this is a statement where people get confused. The right of the people to keep and bear arms. It says, the right of the people, me, you, everyone else in the class, or anybody watching. We have the right to keep and bear arms. And it says, shall not be infringed. We have the right to keep and bear arms. So I just thought I'd kind of just really dissect the Second Amendment, but now we're going to get in what it takes to own a gun. Now, you need to be 18 years old to purchase a firearm. You cannot be any younger. That is a felony. You do need a driver's license to get a firearm. Some form of identification, either a driver's license and a state ID. Now, people often use driver's license because it is an easier form of ID rather than a state ID. You get that at 16, but you need to be 18 to buy a gun. Now, there is background checks, and they are strict. You cannot get a gun if you are a felon, a domestic abuser, or if you have a mental illness on record. Now, background checks cannot do anything if something is not on record. If something is not reported, or, like I said, put on record, it cannot be shown. Now, just thought I'd show that. Now, the gun show loophole. I know some of you may hear about this, some of you may not. The gun show loophole states, or the whole idea summary, is if you go to a gun show, you can buy a gun with no background check. It is a felony for someone to sell you a gun without a background check. Like an issuer, a certified issuer, it is not legal to sell a firearm to you without a background check. Now, people buy AR-15s from these gun shows. It is wrong. Now, another common misconception is assault rifles are the leading killer in most mass shootings and shootings in general. That is wrong. Dramatically wrong. Now, handguns, and this is as of 2017, and I got this from the FBI statistics. Handguns are responsible for dramatically more deaths than rifles are. In 2017 alone, 7,032 people were killed with handguns, while only 403 people were killed with rifles. Now, people say, you hear it in the news often, they don't really want to ban handguns, they want to ban rifles and that such. But by this statistic, shouldn't we ban handguns because it kills more people? It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, I'm not saying we should ban handguns. It's not what I'm saying at all. Just saying rifles kill less people. So when someone tells you rifles kill more people, they're wrong. Now, people say we own the most guns in the world. We own about half of the guns in the world. Now, people say we have the most homicides in the world, and they're wrong. Actually, America isn't even in the top 10 for the most homicides by country in the world. It actually ranks 28th. The top 3 spots go to Honduras, Jamaica, and El Salvador. Per 100,000 people, the U.S. is 2.97 out of 100,000 people for homicides. We're only, like I said, we only rank 28th in the world. So whenever someone tells you we are the leading in the department of the most homicides in the world, they're wrong. It is just not true. Now, gun-free zones do not stop gun violence. In fact, 92% of mass shootings are in gun-free zones, such as schools. Now, to say that they don't is just clearly wrong. Think of it from the shooter's point of view. For someone to want to get targets, they're not going to go somewhere where people could possibly have guns because they don't want to get shot down. That's why they pick schools and other vulnerable places that are a gun-free zone. It makes it for a higher kill count and that sort of stuff. From the shooter's point of view, it's more logical. To wrap this up with some logic, to think gun control laws will stop criminals, that is false. Just to think of it from a logical point of view, a criminal is someone who doesn't obey laws. They don't. So why should we put more laws forth to stop guns when criminals do what they want anyway? They don't abide to the law. They never have, and they never will. On that note, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy this video and did learn some things from what I taught you, or possibly taught you. Some of you maybe already knew some stuff, but my goal was to educate, not to change minds. And if I did educate you on at least one thing, I did my job and I made my goal. If I changed your mind, that's just an extra mile I hoped for. If I didn't, just know that wasn't my main goal. And now I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in class and around. See you guys later.